Hi guys, my name is Ayansh and you guys are watching Ayansh Astrology. So today we are going to do a hand analysis of 37 years old male. Before starting this video, I just wanted to tell you guys that if you guys are also interested in your hand analysis, WhatsApp me on the number which has been mentioned below. So we'll talk about the basic features of this particular hand and we'll only talk about the important aspects of this time because it will be a very brief video. We'll start with the shape of the palm. We can see it's rectangular in shape. So whenever we have seen a rectangular palm, so that means this person will have good intuition, creativity, goal oriented, enthusiastic, right? And they opt for a work where they have to utilize their brain rather than going for a physical kind of job. Apart from that, when we see the whole shape of this particular palm, right, we can say that this is a fire palm, because if you see, this particular palm size is huge compared to the height of their fingers. So the finger height is small. That means this particular person is more of like, for example, he would not like to go into the detailing of anything. He is a quick decision maker. Mostly these kind of people are result oriented rather than focusing on the process to get to the output of that particular work. There is also a yoke having a shorter finger is that they are very good leaders, or you can say this yoke makes these people leaders. And I have seen in multiple hands with this fire hand where the fingers are very short and this palm is comparatively lengthy. These are in positions, whether it is business or private or even a public sector. They are maybe a team leader or maybe a manager, or maybe they are doing or they are having their own business, and there will be multiple person or people who will be working under them, right? So that kind of thing we get when we see this kind of palm. Apart from that, when we talk about Jupiter is little bit tilted, that means this person loves to be alone occasionally, right? And then when we talk about these gaps shows it is very difficult to save wealth. And especially when I talk about this gap between the Saturn finger and the Apollo finger, this shows that this person is not having very good relationship with his father. Apart from that, when we see these lines, these vertical lines, these are very good. It gives person a friendly nature, to gel up with the society. But whenever these lines reaches on top flange, these flange, you can see these are the vertical lines reaching top flange of the finger. This is not considered to be very good because this gives, so basically these are energy lines. These are not nothing but the energy lines. And when there is too much energy in the mental side or in a head side, where whenever these lines are on the top, this basically shows the person might get mood swings or frustration time to time, right? We can see there is this Buddha eye. So Buddha eye gives two things after 40 plus. One is wealth. There will be many opportunities to having a good wealth after 40 plus. Second thing is, this kind of person, they will have sixth sense or intuition, very good, and that also comes after 40. There are some stress lines. If I basically zoom in here, we can see these are stress lines, right? These are unnecessary stress lines, so I have to give him some remedy so that he can reduce the stress level. And in future I can also see there is some issues, there will be some issues with children's. When we see that Jupiter finger is comparatively longer than the Apollo finger, these kind of people, they are having very good leadership quality. And because I have already told you guys that these short finger people, they already have this kind of yokes where multiple people work under this kind of personalities. This basically double crosses that particular yoke. So definitely this kind of person will be working in a position where multiple people will be working under him. So Apollo finger is bit shorter. This shows that person, whatever he does, he will think twice before taking any kind of decisions. So these kind of people, they will think twice to take any kind of important decisions in their life. I can see there is this mark here. I'm not aware if it is a permanent mark or mole. So having mole here in this place on the Apollo finger shows that there will be definitely some kind of defamation yoga is there, right? A person would have to get some blame in the society or in his workplace. And there is one more aspect to it, is the unsatisfaction in the job. So these kind of people, they might, for example, they might be working a lot for a project, but at the end someone else will get the credit out of it, right? So these kind of people, they would not get proper credit or the work which they have done. Apart from that, I can also see there is this half girdle of Venus here. So this is girdle of Venus. So basically, right, I mean, let's say for example it was closed here and complete, then this kind of signification is that person would have been much more artistic. All the features of being artistic will be there in the person. He will be fashion design, he could be a fashion designer, or he could be very good in dance or singing, he could be very good in craft work or architect, right? So these kind of multiple artistic things would have been there, but in this case, because it is not complete and we can see only half of it is complete, all these things which I have told would have been there, but the percentage of all these features would have been much lower, right? The other thing which is bad with girdle of Venus is that these kind of people are a little bit sexually active, you know, compared to the normal people. So the kamukta in Hindi, what we say, that kind of thing will be a little bit more in these kind of people than the others. We can say that there is one more reason why we can say that is when we see these lines here. So we know that this is the portion of Venus and this is the portion of moon. So this is moon and this is Venus, right? So what happens is basically whenever there is this kind of you can say the connection between the Venus and moon, this is called via lascivia, right? So this also gives some kind of addiction to the substance, or maybe a person could be allergic, or maybe the person is more sexually active, right? So whenever there is this because see, what is moon? Moon is our mental state, our thinking pattern, right? Whatever we think every day, whatever we do every day. So moon is very much whatever we think. And what is Venus? Venus is our lavishness, our luxury, whatever money we have, whatever wealth we have, and also what kind of biological desires we have, right? So that all things are denoted by the Venus, and especially it is denoted here in our palm. So when V is connected to M, when Venus is connected to M, that shows that person is comparatively more sexual than the other people, right? Now there are many things which we can talk about with this particular palm. The other thing which I can see here is the mind line and the lifeline. So when you see mind line and lifeline, both are going in a different direction and there is no merge here. So usually in the common hand we would have find that there is a merge in the mind line and lifeline. It will start something like this, but in this case it is both are separate. This shows that the person is quite independent from the beginning, right? This shows that that the decisions which he has taken from the beginning, from the childhood, would have been quite strong and would have been quite different than the family, right? So family would have thought of something and this guy would have done something else, right? So that kind of personality it shows. We see the heart line is going towards Jupiter, see, and these offshoots are going towards Jupiter Mount. This shows that the person will be imaginative, loyal, emotional, expressive, and to an extent he will be self-centered, right? And there's one more thing which I have found in these kind of personalities is they will definitely do love marriage if their partner are also having similar kind of lines or indications in their palm. Apart from that, if I have to time different kind of events on the heart line, right? The heart line is not that great because we see a lot of chain kind of marks are here, right? And then there are so many offshoots which are coming down. So if I have to time an island, I can see one island here. So this island was around when this person is 13, 14, right? So because this island is under the Mercury Mount, right, that means we can say that this person must have some kind of issues related to skin or speech during 13th or 14th year of his life. But because he is now 37, these are all past. There are some offshoots which are going down. These offshoots shows, so I'll just zoom in a little bit so that I can show it properly. So we can see these offshoots. These are offshoots which are going down. So these offshoots basically, right, these are all emotional setbacks, right? And if I have to time it, it will be around 23, right? And this will be, the last one would have been around 38. In between there is this offshoot which is 34, right? So he had multiple emotional setbacks, right? Apart from that, I can see there is a very good money triangle which is getting created here. So if you see here, this is the money triangle which is getting created. This is the first money triangle, and this is the outer money triangle, right? So that means that the person would have yokes to, to assemble or to accumulate a lot of wealth in future, and this gets get prominent after 40s, 40 plus. These things, these signs will give prominent result. Apart from that, so if you see this lifeline, there are multiple Rahu lines which are cutting on several ages, and if we calculate it, I can see this is 37, this is 41, these are all past 31. So there are multiple, I can see there are multiple Rahu Rekhas which are crossing, yeah, lifeline, which is actually not good. These are all setbacks, either mentally or either physically. He might have some accident or some illness or financial loss, it shows, right? So this is not at all good. If I zoom it here, you see these are all Rahu Rekha on several ages, right? This would definitely have impacted this particular person very badly. But I'll tell you why this person is or might not have affected so much. The reason is this particular mind line. So if you see this mind line, right, it is quite positive. Why? Because it is going to the Mars area. So whenever this particular mind line goes towards Mars area, it is considered very good. It makes the person strong headed, right? And it gives strength to the mental state. And there is one fork which is going towards the moon mount. So this also shows that there is a balance between the softness in the nature and also the practicality. So overall, if you see the palm and all the Rahu Rekha and all the negativity in the hand, it would give you a basic idea that the person is going through a lot of hell or a lot of negative situations or the events. But as we know, palmistry is more about comprehensive reading, where it might happen that there are 10 negative indications, but if there is a very good positive indication, then it basically balances out everything, right? So here also we see that there are so many negativity in the palm. In the lifeline also you see so many negative lines, right, crossing across. And then basically there is this fate line or luck line which is going from here, it is going directly to the Saturn mount, right? So here also it is crossing, all the negative lines are crossing here, which is showing some bad impact on the fate or on the luck. But if I have to time it, right, so even I would say the last Rahu Rekha which is crossing this particular hand is around 41, right? And after 41, if we see, if we count this particular portion as 45, and then if we go up and count this as 55, then in between, right, everything is going to be smooth. So this person has faced everything already. So these are all the issues or all the blockades which are which already happened in his life, and he is going towards a very smooth phase of his life. And if we count this particular luck line, it is touching around 65 plus. So that means that this person will be having very good wealth by the time he will get retired from his work. Apart from that, I just wanted to zoom in the moon mount. So if we consider this as the whole moon mount, then we see these are the lines which shows that the person would have traveled a lot in his life and is going to travel a lot. So the travel could be the travel where you are going to foreign, or you are staying in foreign, or the day-to-day life travel, right? So every day you have to travel a lot to go to the workplace. So this is why this particular moon area is so busy. So see, there are so many lines here. This indicates that this person would not have any kind of job where he has to sit at home, apart from the work from home phase which we all are going through. But apart from that, whenever he has to do work, he will have to travel a lot. Talking about all the mounts, so this is Jupiter mount, this is Saturn mount, this is Apollo Sun mount, and this is Mercury mount. So we'll start with the Mercury mount, which is this one. So these are the vertical lines, which shows that the person is kind of a healer, and we basically see these kind of lines on nurses or on doctors, on people who are in NGOs, right? So these are also called healer lines. Why? Because these kind of personalities, they are very good in fixing issues. When I'm saying fixing issues, that means, for example, some kind of issue in a relationship, or there's some kind of legal issue between two parties, right? So what these kind of people can do is basically they can involve in these kind of situations, and no one would even imagine these guys, by their talk or by their talking skills or by their way of talking, they would definitely able to fix those issues, right? So that's why we call it as a healing lines, and there are many healing lines in his hand. When we talk about the Apollo mount or the Sun mount, I have already said that there is this particular mole which can give defamation, and there will be some unsatisfaction situations in the work life. Apart from that, because this particular energy of sun is getting scattered, right? So this person would not able to enjoy the kind of thing which he should enjoy. So he knows a lot of things, he might have a very good knowledge, but he's not able to utilize it, and he's not able to get fame out of it, right? Because that credit part is taken away from someone else, right? When we talk about Saturn mount, there are some these kind of lines here in the Saturn mount, which shows that time to time the person gets irritated from the situations in his life. And when we talk about the Jupiter mount, right? So if you see here little bit, that overall, if you see this whole mount, right, the Jupiter mount, I would say, is the smallest mount. And whenever the Jupiter mount is this much small, what happens is that this kind of person, they would not able to enjoy their family life, right? Because they have to be somewhere else, or they would not able to spend time with their family for some reasons, for some xy reason, right? So these kind of issues people face with these kind of combinations. But there is one good sign which I can see, which is this cross sign. So cross sign on the Jupiter mount is always good. It basically gives a lot of opportunities in one's life. So I believe I have covered most of the things. It was supposed to be a very brief session, but I have stretched it a lot. But basically, if you want to have a detailed analysis of your hand, definitely you guys can reach out to me. You guys already have my WhatsApp number, and message me, and you can ask me your question or whatever doubts you have in your life. So that's it, guys. I believe you guys have enjoyed this analysis session. If you guys have any doubt, you guys can comment me, and I'll definitely answer. Thank you. Bye bye. Have a nice day.